Well, I started off for all intents and purposes at Univision, right? So when Univision was coming out of bankruptcy in 1994, they had a magazine called Mas, and so I became the ad sales director, pretty young, and we did pretty well. But the chairman of the company wanted to get into television, so we bought a cable company called Univision from Televisa. It was the largest production company in Latin America, and he was like, "Look, run it." And it was the best thing in the world in the sense that I had nobody, no precedent, no whatever, to work off. So it was like, make as many mistakes, just get it right. So we got that going, and then we had Mexican soccer, which nobody had ever put on Monday through Friday. So we put that on, and every cable operator within a week was calling me saying, we have to cut a deal because everybody's calling me. All these Latinos are calling me for Mexican soccer, right? And so then we bought the company from Televisa for $25 million. And when we sold Univision to the venture capitalists in 2010 and 2008, Univision's contribution to the enterprise value was $1.25 billion. So it's good, right? And then in 2000, yeah, it was good. So it was like 2001. My chairman asked if I'd be interested in starting the digital group. So I did, because you already saw like AOL, kind of getting in the mix and everything else. So then we put together a team. Everybody, back then, everybody thought broadcast couldn't figure out digital, right? Because they were like, you don't get community, you don't get the interactivity. So we're like, kind of like, how hard can it be? You know what I mean? It was like, it didn't seem too hard for AOL, so we got involved. We actually ended up partnering with AOL, and that one, probably took us a year to become number one in the space. And so that became a big success, and when we sold the company, that part of the company was worth about $500 million. So, so it gave me great experience in kind of getting into businesses that showed a lot of promise, but nobody really knew what the business model was, right? So when you kind of come into those sorts of situations on a regular basis and you're kind of predisposed to that sort of scenario, like there is no game plan. Like you're going to have to iterate, right? You're going to have to pivot. It's going to be 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And the sooner that you kind of get a handle on that, the sooner potential success can eventually come. And, and it's, the one thing I always tell people that ask me about like entrepreneurship and my stuff in media and everything else is it takes a steel stomach, it takes a steel stomach. Like it took me, we at Univision.com, we lost something like $75 million in the first 3 years. And people, the finance guys called me Mr. Brackets because you always put brackets around a loss.
Yeah.
So they're like, look who's here, it's Mr. Brackets, right? And so like you'd have to like take it and swallow it, but like as long as I wasn't getting fired, like I was like, okay, call me Mr. Brackets. And then after 3 years, one day they called me Mr. Brackets, and I was like, you can never call me that again. They're like, what are you trying to tell me? You're going to break even? I said, I'm not going to break even. I'm going to be profitable this year. And then we kind of figured out how banners worked and how we could price them and, bring in special events like World Cup into the whole thing. And so then that went through the roof. And so that gave me the opportunity. The company was sold in 2008. I stayed on for a year. It wasn't for me with the new guys, right? And so I left.